YouTube friends, I'm Jackie and welcome back to the Gone Potties. As you might have noticed, I've changed the name, and that's just because I've got a Facebook page called the Gone Potties, and I found that just doing the channel to just gardening, sometimes it's difficult to think of a video, you know. So I've broadened it a bit, so I'll just be doing whatever, you know, still the gardening, but other videos as well, just general life around the smallholding. So that is why I changed the name. Now Helen has her own channel on YouTube, and I'll pop the link in the description in case any of you want to go and have a look at that as well. Anyway, let's get back to the gardening season for 2024. It's been quite good. A lot of people have struggled, haven't they, with the weather and that. We did get blight in the polytunnel, which we don't get every year, but we actually did get it this year. And I managed to rescue the tomatoes, and I'll show you some of them. Some of them have already been in the freezer, but generally I pick them, put them straight in the freezer, and we use them in meals. So what I did is, as soon as I saw blight on them, I picked the ones that were good, which was more or less all of them, you know, in the polytunnel. And I put them in brown paper bags and made sure they were closed. And over about a 2.5 week period, I kept checking in the bags to see when they were ripe, and I was taking them out and freezing them. So we didn't lose any, which was really lucky. We caught it in time just as it started. Now there was a couple of surprises in the garden. There's a big tree that's, well, it's a little bit away from the polytunnel, but I even took a picture of it and posted it in the garden forum because I couldn't remember what sort of tree it was, and they said it was pear. Anyway, it's been there, say, 4 or 5 years, and this year it produced fruit, which was lovely. But believe it or not, it was a plum tree, Victoria plum, and there was quite a few plums on it. I mean, not loads and loads, but there was enough. And I made a jam, a plum jam. So yeah, it was lovely. So it's really nice when you eventually start getting fruit from your garden. And I also just been out now. Now usually I trim these down because otherwise they overtake the place. But these are just wild blackberries. So I thought there'd be enough there, won't there, to make a little crumble. But there's also a bush at the side of the house, so I'll probably go around there and see if I can get a few more. But yeah, it's lovely when you get little surprises like that. Well, it's about 13 degrees today, and as you know, we're nearly in October, so I'm trying to make the most of these sort of days. I mean, it's not cold. I'm in the polytunnel at the moment, but there's a few jobs that I need to do. Right, I need to cut down some of the raspberries. I'll read you what I've put down in my notes about the canes, in case it helps anyone out there. I've put, generally speaking, smooth canes are summer fruiting, and the thorny ones are autumn fruiting. Autumn fruiting raspberries get pruned fully to the ground every winter and grow new canes every year. Summer fruiting will send a new cane up this year to carry fruit next year. So they're in my long row of raspberries, there are some really long ones which would be left to give fruit this following year. So I'll just be cutting down the prickly ones. So I've got another job to do, which I want to do sort of while it's dry. I've looked on the weather and we've got a few, maybe 4 or 5 days of dry weather. So instead of leaving it this time, I'm going to put the garlic in, maybe a little bit early, but I'd rather do that than try and contend with soggy soil and plantings. These are ones that I saved from this year, and what I did was the ones that I harvested, I put into little quarters like this and froze them. So I've got a really big bag of frozen cloves in the freezer, and when I do it that way, I find it easy. So if you need, say, 4 cloves, you just take them out, and actually when they've been in the freezer, they're really easy to peel. So that's what we do with the garlic. Now when you live in the country, rural like this, you've always got, I think, there's always sort of a lot of even rodents even that can get your vegetables, and that's happened with me with the carrots. Out in the garden, things still look pretty well, because even though we're coming into the winter months. There's a few holes in these are sprouts, but I want to put a cane in them, I think, and tie them up. They'd be better like that. There's a cabbage I can probably rescue. And all this kale, I think I'm going to do like a powder. I'm going to dry some of it and make some kale powder. These would be good for stews, swede. So I've got quite a few of them to use over the winter. I'll just take you down and show you what's going on really. We bought a little lawnmower just for like these bits in the front grass, and it's brilliant. It's so light. It's a Bosch electric one, and I'll just plug it in and go over it. But what I have done out here and in the front garden is I've put a weed killer over to get rid of all the dandelions and stuff. Up here is the swedes, not swedes, leeks. Yeah, so they're doing all right. But yeah, it's all looking pretty fresh. But as we go on, obviously the nights are getting colder now. Everything will start to die off, and I'll have to start clearing out places. Look at these. These are poppy seeds that I sown, but they've sort of self-seeded themselves as well. And they're right in a row, right down the bed. If I'd have planted them there, they wouldn't have grown, but yeah, there's loads of them. They're beautiful though. I love them. It's quite dark in here, but this is the green polytunnel. Now the cover's got quite a few holes in it. I'm sure it's from the sun, the heat, that dissolves the little square plastic bits. So what I've done is I've just put tarpaulin on the inside for now and using it as a storeroom. I'll show you. So I did manage to clear it out, and like I say, I've put the tarpaulin up with some 2x1. I've just put it behind the posts to make it a little bit tighter, but that'll keep it dry in here. So what I've done is I had an old chicken run in here, so I cut all that up. That's all kindling from there. And then I had a load of logs. So I made a log stand and stacked them all in here. And yeah, so I'm just using this for garden stuff really. At the back there's a few barrels which I'm going to use to put like vermiculite in and all different stuff like that. There's a couple of wheelbarrows, another little electric lawnmower. But yeah, it's very dry in here. I've put the canes all along the roof, look. So they're out the way. And the fleecy stuff is hanging up there. And I've put all my bits on the shelf there that I use in the garden. Now that did take me quite a few days to sort this out, and there's a few bags of rubbish I've got to take down to the skip. But yeah, I feel better that that job's done now, and those logs that I've stocked there will be able to use next year. They were only offcuts from a sapling that had grown big again. So yeah, and we have got quite a few branches of trees down which I can, you know, use the wood from them as well. So, yep, there's a few jobs to do. It's been a bugger for stinging nettles this year. Look at them. But it's really pleasant on days like this. I love being outside. So in future I'm going to do more videos, but they're not always going to be about gardening. It'll just be a variety of things, you know, because that way it opens me up to be able to do different videos rather than try to make up a gardening video that is boring. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Please like, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would. Thanks again, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.